planners. I just wanted to reach out and touch base with you guys. Our annual planning career fair for spring 2020 has been canceled, so I wanted to reach out today with some advice on things you can do in the meantime to help with your professional and career development. So I know a lot of you guys know me already, but my name's Eileen Baden. I'm the program coordinator for the students in the Master of Urban and Environmental Planning program in the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning at ASU. So my background is I'm an experienced environmental planner and project manager. I'm also the instructor for PUP 442 and 542 environmental planning for undergraduates and graduate students. I'm currently the president of the Arizona Association of Environmental Professionals. Check out our website. There's free student memberships. And students can attend meetings for a discounted rate. But I recommend getting on the listserv, and you can at least keep in touch and see in the future what meetings might be interesting for you. I graduated from the Master of Urban and Environmental Planning program at ASU in 2012, and I have my undergraduate degree in economics from Virginia Tech with minors in environmental policy and planning and international studies. So some ideas I wanted to pass on to you guys, things that you can kind of think about and brainstorm on during this time, and just in general, is to revise your resume. So check out the ASU resume Dropbox. It's really simple. You just upload your resume to them, and then they'll make some track changes, and they'll reply back to you with some suggested edits. Right now is a really good time to also update your LinkedIn profile. Endorse other students that you've worked with that have been really great on group projects, or other students that have maybe helped you connect with an internship. You'll want to add skills that you want to be endorsed for on LinkedIn. I cannot endorse you for a skill unless you have already said that you've had that skill. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Take a look at the skills that I have listed as a planner. Feel free to use some of those. And I recommend connecting with other students. Start building your LinkedIn database and your connections there. I've had a lot of success with LinkedIn, people reaching out to me, whether about jobs or about sharing jobs with students. So I just think it's a great place for professional development and getting to know other people in the planning world. Now is also a good time to think about building a personal website or building your ASU digital portfolio. So a personal website, that might be something that if you have a lot of experience that's not relating to your coursework, maybe that's something you'd want to look into. Or if you feel as though you have a lot of really great school projects that you've done, consider creating an ASU digital portfolio. So here's an example of the digital portfolio we did for my class last spring. So this is what the digital portfolio looks like. This is the planning workshop capstone studio class project. We worked on a project for the city of Mesa. You'll see here are the students who were in the class, and we held a public meeting. We also did a presentation at the end of the class for the mayor and some of the planning staff for the city of Mesa. So at the top here, you'll see there's a About Me section. In there, you can just include a description about your background, some of your research interests, some of the things that you've done. Your resume can also be uploaded to your digital portfolio. Put a personal statement, and then you can actually upload a PDF that has your actual resume on there. So we held a public meeting, so we have a tab up here for the public outreach that we did for our open house meeting. We also posted some photos from the meeting, which are just loading. Oh, here's a flyer that we had sent out to the public to get them to come to our meeting. And then here's just a gallery of some of the photos. So I want to encourage you to take photos at conferences that you attend, at workshops that you go to, things along those lines. Start collecting a database of photos that you can use for your website or digital portfolio. And then there's also some example posters on here that the students did for the class. And then our final plan of development, we have our final report and our final presentation and a PowerPoint on here. They take a bit to load, so I'll let you check those out another time. So I highly recommend creating a website or digital portfolio, and certain websites like Unsplash has a lot of free photos that you can use to kind of make it a little bit more colorful. I also think that right now is a really good time to really reflect on why you're interested in urban and environmental planning. Where do your research interests really lie? What really stands out to you as this is something that I'm really interested in and I want to learn more about? I'd say definitely check out the American Planning Association, the Arizona chapter of the American Planning Association. Play around on their websites, just see what resources they have available, so then later on when you need something, you know exactly where to go and find it. APA, they're the organization that maintains the American Institute of Certified Planners certification. Definitely, if you're looking to graduate soon, definitely check out the AICP exam and see what it takes to sit for that exam, and start thinking about, you know, what resources you can start saving to a folder that will help you when you need to go study for that exam. Some additional resources you can check out that has news articles, trainings, PlanEdizen, Next City, CityLab, and then also the National Association of Environmental Professionals, NAEP. That's the parent chapter of AZAP, which I'm involved with. They have some good resources on there as well. I also encourage you to check out this survey I created last year. It's essentially geography, GIS, and planning resources. We're just looking to create a good database of resources for students to know about. And I'll show you guys where we're posting those on the MUEP Student Hub in just a moment. Here we are. Okay, the MUEP Student Hub. So don't forget about the Student Hub we have on Canvas. You can create a discussion board to start communicating with students. Here, let me take you guys to the page. Okay, so this is our, go to home. This is our MUEP Student Hub. This is a course in Canvas that we developed to save some resources for you all. If you happen to miss orientation or just want to go back and review some resources that we went through at orientation, there's a whole module here that has all those resources available. We also have information on how to get started on your digital portfolio, additional resources from past career fairs, and then also some information about the MUEP culminating experience if you'd like to look at some past applied project abstracts and past planning workshops. Okay, so the planning resources, if you click on the planning, geography, and GIS tools and resources, this is where we're starting to post the information that we get from that Google form. So if you click on urban planning, these are some urban planning websites and resources. A lot of them I had already mentioned in the past link. For environmental planning websites and resources, you'll just see here like NEPA Assist. NEPA is the National Association, National Environmental Policy Act. So on there, it's just a good resource to see what kind of environmental concerns exist near a project area. You can just play around with it and see maybe where you live and see if there's any environmental concerns nearby. BLM NEPA website, that's another website that just talks about some of their National Environmental Policy Act projects and current ones they have going on and things that you can comment on as a member of the public. Geography, GIS websites and resources. QGIS is a free and open source GIS. The Map and Geospatial Hub holds a lot of workshops here at ASU that are good to know about. Google Earth, I'll mention again here in a minute. And so again, those are just a place that I recommend checking out and seeing what resources are available. So skill development, again, just something else to kind of keep adding to skills on your resume and kind of helping to work on what skills you have that can help help you in your future as a planner. So Skillshare is a great website that has a lot of design and marketing classes. If you have your own side hustle, you can check out what kind of marketing classes they have for your small business, photography classes, web development classes. Currently, I'm auditing a class with Tim Boyle. He's teaching a graphic skills class for planners, and he will be teaching that again in the fall. So check that out. Right now it's called Planning Workshop 2, but we are working on changing the name. So his last name is Boyle, B-O-Y-L-E. Check that class out for fall. He's teaching Adobe products, such as Photoshop and SketchUp and AutoCAD. So it's really a great class, but I want to say that even if you're not in that class or even if you're graduating, you can do this. You can learn those programs. I was a little nervous at first, and I definitely do feel like taking the class has opened me up to feeling more comfortable using those programs. However, I also feel as though if you want to learn these programs, you can do it. Check out the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. It's discounted for students. So take advantage of as many discounts as you can while you're still a student to get that student rate. Right now, I think the Adobe Creative Cloud suite was around $20 a month for students, and it's like $53 a month for professionals. And don't hold me to those prices, as I'm sure they may change, but just check it out. You'll want to take advantage of those discounts while you can. So if you can get the Adobe Creative Cloud, then you can watch videos and trainings on how to use those programs. And Skillshare has some of those trainings available. So you might want to wait until you're just about to graduate to look at the or for summer for the Skillshare opportunity, just because it's like a 30-day free trial. Also, I recommend learning how to use Google Earth. About a year and a half ago, we did a survey with professionals to see what kind of software programs students need to know. And after GIS, Google Earth came back as the #1 most important thing, software program that students need to know. It's really not that complicated. Play around with drawing a KMZ file, draw a square around a park or a certain area that stands out to you, and just watch some training videos. And then after you feel a little bit more comfortable with Google Earth, you can add that as a skill on your resume. A lot of people out there use Google Earth because it's free. So when I was an environmental planner, we used it a lot. Project engineers would draw design work in AutoCAD, and then they would send me the design files as a KMZ file in Google Earth so that I could open up Google Earth and I could see where they were planning on making design changes to a road. Because on Google Earth, I could see the existing imagery, and then I could see the lines drawn of where they were planning to widen the road, let's say. And then I can say, okay, what kind of environmental impacts are we going to have now that this area is going to be disturbed? So a lot of people out there use Google Earth. I highly recommend watching a couple of training videos and playing around with it. Inkscape is a free drawing resource for illustrators, designers, web designers. My husband used it to draw some stickers for the Arizona Hydrological Society because he didn't have access to Adobe products at that time. So if you are concerned about the cost of Adobe right now, check out Inkscape and play around with that. Advice from professionals. So I cannot recommend this enough. You'll really want to check out the list of career fair participants, the folks who are going to come to our planning career fair this year, and take a look at their websites. Take a look at, what they do. Start developing a list of firms, organizations, nonprofits that you'd like to work for and why. What kind of projects are they working on that really stand out to you? And then as soon as a job or internship becomes available, you can apply right away and say, oh, I've already been looking at you guys. I've seen some past planning projects that you've done. I'm really interested in this report that you've done. And it'll just help you kind of stand out from the crowd. So I really want to emphasize to watch both of not only the panel from the spring 2019 Planning Career Fair, but also the lightning talks from the fall 2019 Geography, GIS, and Planning Career Navigator event. So the panel from the career fair last spring is fantastic. They give a lot of really good advice. And the lightning talks from last fall, even though there's a couple professionals there that maybe have a geography or GIS background, they also give a lot of really good advice to listen in on. So really, those are, if you take anything away from this presentation, watch the videos from the panel last year and from the lightning talks from the Career Navigator event. Another idea is just to start developing a template to start listing the projects that you've worked on. Maybe you worked on a project in your class. What role did you have? What dates did you work on that project? Who was the project completed for? Was it completed for a planning organization or a nonprofit? Just start thinking about projects you've done maybe in your classes or through internships. And after you have a good template developed, you can keep building on that over time. And then once you start, once you get a job, keep track of the projects that you've worked on. Now, usually organizations will do that as well, but it's just something that you want to have in the back of your mind to keep good records from the beginning of your career. I worked with somebody a couple years ago, and her CV was like 15 pages long, but she had lists of every single project she'd worked on. It's really impressive, and it's also really useful for when you're applying to jobs. They may ask, what projects have you worked on before? And it's really nice if you just have it ready to go. Think about volunteering. You know, what organizations might you want to volunteer for to get the experience in an area that you want to work in? Definitely being involved with the Arizona Association of Environmental Professionals has helped me connect with a lot of environmental planners, has helped me feel more connected to the environmental planning profession in general. It's helped me when I've had some challenges with projects on how to best respond to public questions or public needs. Sometimes you might work at a small firm or small organization that doesn't have a lot of other planners there. It's really nice if you've already been involved with the Arizona chapter of the American Planning Association or Arizona Association of Environmental Professionals, to know who to go talk to for advice. So I would go maybe talk to somebody more senior and say, hey, have you ever dealt with a situation like this before? This is what I was thinking about doing. Do you have any recommendations or advice? And that really has helped me in the past, especially if you get stuck in kind of a tough situation and you want to know how to best proceed. So when you volunteer, keep track of the hours that you worked. I didn't realize how important this was until relatively recently. When you go to apply for any kind of federal job, this is something they're going to ask you for. How many hours have you volunteered in the past? So, but not just for federal jobs, it's important to do in general. This is something that you can do to be proactive when you are applying for jobs or internships. Let them know, I volunteered for this organization. I volunteered 10 hours a month for the past 2 years. Or, I did a couple cleanup efforts and they were combined, about 40 hours last year. It's just good to have a good database of the work that you've done, the volunteer work that you've done, and approximately how many hours you've done towards those events. So for this, I also wanted to recommend to you guys to join the Student Planning Association, SPA. So the Student Planning Association at ASU was created to help further Arizona State planning students' educational goals and enhance their experience within the planning program through events, advocacy, and distribution of information. The SPA website is listed on this slide, or you can join directly through campuslabs.com, asu.campuslabs.com/engage. You can actually join a bunch of student organizations on there. I'd recommend checking out a couple of them, signing on, joining a few, and seeing what different events they have. And you might find that maybe you want to join Devils Pitching In. That's an organization where they volunteer and help out the community in different events. So this year, the Student Planning Association, they volunteered at Open Door. They taught kids about urban planning and zoning. They also did a donation drive in the fall where they collected donation items for the International Rescue Committee. So those are just a few things that we've done, and we're hoping to have a Zoom meeting or two throughout the rest of this semester. So definitely feel free to join us and join in the conversation. If you have any questions relating to professional development, please reach out to me, eileen.baden@asu.edu. So I'm thinking about you guys. I hope you're doing well and hanging in there. Please watch those videos from the Planning Career Fair last year, as well as from Career Navigator. I think you'll find some really good advice in there. Okay, reach out if you have questions. Thanks so much.